Excerpt from Visions of Gerard by Jack Kerouac, page 74. Comes the cantankerous rush of spring, when earth will fecundate and get soft and produce forms that are but to die, multiply, and 1,000 splendors sweep across the March sky, and moons with raving moons that you see through drunken pine boughs snapping. When the river with her loadened humus gets heavier at the bank because of the melting of the cakey stiffnesses that had the earth seal-locked in her vaunted tomb of hard. And there'll be laughter in the melting earth tonight. And there'll be sawdust, trees, women's thighs, river bends, starlight, back porches, more babies, young husbands, beer. They'll be singing in the April treetops. There'll be visitations from the south, from oft-returning species of visitors with feather tails and beady eyes, avaricious for the worm. And the worm himself will divide into 1 billion counterparts and come oozing out of parted sands, black and oily and blue, like as if someone were squeezing the earth from below him. There'll be new fish. There'll be himself. All of a sudden, tossed wars of treetops will be warmer wars and less dry and crackety ones. And there'll be rumors and singing down the hillsides as snow melts, running for cover under the bloody light to join the river's big body, so that ocean will again receive her swollen rent as ever April, yet landlord without end be none the richer, and with such coffers bottomless, how the poorer possible? In the ocean there is a spring, deep, verdurous, we can't estimate. So I sing the surface one, the spring that makes us feel so sad and fair, and morning air brings nostalgic cigarette smoke from holy smokers. When hats are whipped and finally succumb, coats flap and run their stories out, and vests disappear, and shirt sleeves are hoisted of a sudden afternoon, April 26, and the ball game is on. The time when all the earth is black with sap. No end to what you could say about spring, and in that locked-in New England spring is a big event, long coming, short staying. It flows by as fast as a flooded river. In that river you see the accumulated debris of 17,000 fecundities, up the both shores clear to the maw of the well where she began. Marbled melt in such country at the time and add veins to the color in the river. Children run out exhilarated as princes and knights, illustriously insane as ancient fools, to weirdly fool in fields and down riverbanks, to, at that time, put them behind a knife-carved school desk is like asking Thane to stow his ice axe and say farewell to his prow. It is the dizzy lyrical time, airy, ethereal, mists are bright. The sun is never exactly golden, never exactly silver, never exactly bright, never exactly dark, never for a long time dimmed, but races continue eye-dazzling wars, reaches everywhere throughout textures of clouds and shows birds shining wings. And when the first buds appear on bushes and trees, and your heart-born blossoms float to commemorate new awakened ones, and fall in holes and on hopscotch trails, vaya, then night coming, and the round horizon all about reverberates with roars of all sigh, all world, all men, shush, war. You'll know by the fence, the sad wooden American fences, and under the promised yellow moon, the pierce of the arrow of April in your flesh. The promise accounted for the tablets of hard-working man's beardy serious prophets, namely, ecstasy of living and dying. You'll have your cold wars and warm peaces, the frotting and rubbings of all things on all sides, the ecstasy general, orgasm, screams of passion, rites of spring, May, June, July, and the bees. No matter what anyone says, you'll have it. You'll dream you have it. And so, like the popular love song says, you'll have it. Blossoms fluttered from the trees and crossed contrary as Gerardo's window pane. He would not balmy truck with spring and swell with it, but wasted like sacrosanct and ill-timed autumn, out of his element. Like my father, exactly 20 years later, he was dying during the resurrection and the life renewed. He was getting worse. Rarely now we saw him out of bed and about the kitchen. Our visits to his bedside were still, for he slept a lot. My mother grew rings around her sleepless eyes and prayed late and rose early to praise early. Her nerves were so shot she was losing her teeth one by one. Her stomach was a mass of gelid, anxious phenomena like swarms of snakes. The snake of inevitability was rising up and eating the doulosis.